Hi kindergarten, happy Wednesday. So today we're working on pages 271 to 272. But first let's start as we usually do with some counting. So today let's work on our 100 chart, but we're going to start at 50 and count on. Now when we count on, how many numbers do we add each time? Just one. So if I count on from 50, I go to 51, exactly. So we're going to count by 1 all the way to 100, okay? Will you say the numbers with me? All right, ready, set, go. 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100. You did it. You counted from 50 all the way to 100. Now I have a question for you. Using my 100 chart, can you tell me what is 50 plus 50 more? Do you know? 50 plus 50 more. 100. Yep, 50 plus 50 is 100. Good job. Now, before we start practicing writing our numbers, let's count one more time by tens from 10 all the way to 100. Ready, set, go. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Good job. Alright, now what I need you to do is I need you to grab a paper and a pencil, and I want you to practice writing the numbers 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, all by yourself. So I want you to write these numbers on your paper. So pause the video, and then when you're all done, I want you to push play so I can show you the numbers that I wrote, okay? Ready? Go ahead. So by now, if you push play, that should mean that you're all done writing your numbers by yourself. And now you're ready for me to show you how I wrote my numbers. So remember, we're counting by tens all the way to 100. So I have 10, 20, 30. How do they look so far? Are they matching yours? Okay, let's keep going. 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, what's that last one? 100. Great job. If anything looks a little bit different, maybe your 8 is a little squished, or maybe your zeros don't quite look like zeros, maybe your 5 is backwards. If anything looks a little bit different, go ahead and take a second just to fix those numbers, okay? And when you're ready, push play again. Now on that same paper, we're going to write 3 more numbers, but I am going to give you hints and you have to guess which number I'm talking about. So my first clue is this number is before 40. What number am I thinking of? Before 40. When you know the number, go ahead and write it on your paper. Before 40. All right, I'll tell you in 5 seconds. Ready? The number before 40 is 39. 39. If you guess this one, you're right. And make sure you check your numbers. The second number I'm thinking of is after 37. What comes after 37? Ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The number after 37 is 38. Check your numbers. And the last number that I'm thinking about is between 66 and 68. It's a big number. What's between 66 and 68? 66, 3, 2, 1. The number between 66 and 68 is 67. Check your numbers and make sure they match mine. If you got these all right, good job. Now that we've practiced our numbers, do you remember when we talked about equal parts and we talked about our squares that we divided into equal parts? Do you remember how many ways I showed you last time? There was 4. What was one way? Do you remember the hand motions that we did? Vertical, that's one way. The second way, horizontal. And the third and fourth ways, how did we dance? Diagonal, exactly. One this way and the other was this way. Good job. So we were talking about equal parts. Now I have some shapes up on my whiteboard. Can you tell me which shapes have equal parts? What are the names of the shapes that have equal parts? Does a square have equal parts? Yeah, 2 triangles. They're the same size and the same shape. So the square has equal parts. Does my triangle have equal parts? No, I see 2 different shapes. I see a triangle up at the top. And then I almost see a triangle, but not quite, because right here there's a flat part. And it's a different shape. And they're not the same size. This one's really small and this one's really big. So my triangle doesn't have equal parts. What about my circle? Does my circle have equal parts? Yeah, it does. They're both like those half moon shapes and they're both the same size. So you got it, my square and my circle. Now I want you to pretend for just a second that this is a pie. It's a really good pie. Do you like apple pie? It's so good. But what if I had another pie? And what if I had not only 2 equal parts? How many equal parts do I have now? I have 4 equal parts. Exactly. Now I have another question for you. If you were to eat out of one of these pies, if you could only have one piece, which pie would you want to eat from? So here's one piece of this pie. And here's another piece. If I were you, I'd pick this piece. You know why? It's bigger. This piece is bigger than this piece. When I have less equal parts, it means that they're bigger. So the more I cut my pie, the smaller my pieces get. The less I cut my pie, the bigger the pieces I get. So if I were to make another cut in my pie, do you think the pieces would be smaller or bigger? Want to see? Okay, here's another cut. And here's another cut. Now, are my pieces bigger or smaller? Look at this tiny piece. Oh, that's a small piece of pie. I'd rather eat from this one. Today we're going to keep talking about our measurements. Do you know how we talked about the paper clips and we use those to measure? Or my pencils, how they were the same size so we could use those to measure? So we're going to talk more about measurement today. Now, can you think of a Bible character that might have had to use measurements? Did anybody have to build anything? Did anybody have to build a boat? Noah did, for sure. Now, Noah believed in God and he worshiped God and he obeyed God in a time where not very many people did. And God told Noah that he was going to send a flood that would cover the whole earth. But God also told Noah to build an ark so that Noah, his family, and some of every kind of animal would be safe. And God gave Noah very clear instructions for how tall, how long, and how wide he was supposed to build this ark, which is the big boat. And because God is really smart and all-wise, he knew exactly what measurements the ark or the boat needed to be in order to survive the flood and carry Noah, his family, and all the kinds of animals. And you know what? Noah obeyed God. He measured correctly and he built the boat just like God told him to. I don't know if you've noticed, but I have some friends over here. I have my blue friend and my purple friend. And I was wondering, how could you use these blocks to talk about how tall they are? How could you use these blocks? Do you have any idea? What if we count them? What would that tell us? If I counted these blocks, what would it tell me about my blue friend? How tall he is in blocks, how many blocks tall my blue friend is. And what would this tower of blocks tell me about my purple friend? How tall my purple friend is. So, will you count the blocks with me? Ready? Set, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. My blue friend is 7 blocks tall. Now let's count how tall this friend is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. My purple friend is 11 blocks tall. Which friend do you think is taller? My purple friend. You're right. Why is my purple friend taller? How can we say that? What evidence do we have? Those blocks. 11 is bigger than 7, so my purple friend is taller. Which one is shorter? My little blue friend. 7 is smaller or less than 11, so my blue friend is shorter. Good job. So friends, here I have a ruler. I don't know if you've seen one of these before. I'm sure you have. But we're going to measure something by inches. Now, can you tell me how many inches you see on my ruler? I see 12 inches on my ruler. So 12 inches, and we're going to measure some objects that I have on my desk. So to start, can you tell me how many inches about is my whiteboard marker? What do you think? I think it goes to about the 5. So we would say my whiteboard marker is 5 inches long. Now, what about my pad of sticky notes? Three inches long. Do you remember how long my expo marker was? It was 5 inches. My sticky notes were 3 inches. What about our 100 chart? How long is my 100 chart? Ooh, it goes right in the middle of 8 and 9. So we're going to say 8.5. Can you say 8.5? So our 100 chart is 8.5 inches long. So out of my 100 chart, my sticky notes, and my expo marker, which one is the longest? My 100 chart, it was 8.5 inches long. What's the next longest object? My whiteboard whiteboard marker. It was 5 inches long. And last, the smallest one was my sticky notes. They're only about 3 inches long. If you have a ruler or a tape measure at home, you and your grown-ups can take turns seeing how tall you are or how long your hand is or your foot, or you can just measure things around the house and make sure they're by inches. So we just measured that my whiteboard marker was 5 inches long. And I tried to draw this. So this is my ruler. Remember, it had 12 inches. And then my whiteboard marker is 5 inches long. And I'm just going to show a little red dotted line to show that my 5 inches is my purple expo marker. And do you remember how long my sticky notes were? They were 3 inches long. 3 inches long. So we said that my expo marker was the longer object, right? Because it goes to 5 and 5 is bigger than 3. But I have a tough question for you. By how many inches longer is my expo marker than my sticky notes? How many more inches? If my sticky notes only go to 3, but my expo marker goes to 5, how many more inches farther is my expo marker? Well, if we go from 3 to 4, 5, 2 inches longer, because 3 plus 2 equals 5. My whiteboard marker is 2 inches longer than my sticky notes. So today in our homework, we're going to be practicing measurements and then seeing which object is longer and shorter. So now let's look at page 271. It has a picture of the barn and the horse inside, and we're talking about measuring the length and the width and the height of things. So first I want you to look at this pail, and do you see the red line next to it? What is this red line telling us that we are measuring? Are we measuring the width or how tall it is? We're measuring how tall it is because the red line goes up and down. So we're going to be asking ourselves, how tall is our pail? And I think we can use these boards, these lines behind us, to tell us how long these objects are. So the instructions say count the boards to measure each height and complete each sentence. So let's look at the pail. And remember, we're counting how tall the pail is. So how many boards does the pail cover? Just where that red line is. 2. So we say the pail is 2 boards tall. Now let's look at the manger. Can you say manger? Yeah, the manger, let's see. How tall, how many boards tall is the manger? 2 again. The manger is 2 boards tall. Now the horse, can you do the horse by yourself? Remember, we're looking at this red line on the side. How many boards tall? And if the horse is covering, we can go over here. So I'll actually count with you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The horse is 8 boards tall. Let's turn the page to see Farmer Brown. The instructions say trace the part of the stem. Ooh, do you remember what the stem is? It's the middle stocky part. So we're going to trace the part of the stem that we would measure to find the height. And circle the tallest plant. Put an X on the shortest plant. So first, I want you to pause the video and I want you to trace the stem. Trace the center part that we're going to measure to see how tall the plant is. And when you're ready, push play. Now that you've traced the stems, I want you to circle the tallest plant. What's the tallest plant here? Yeah, it looks like the corn. So we're going to circle the corn. And then we're going to put an X on the shortest plant. Go ahead and do that by yourself. Good job. Now it says write the number of worms long. So we're going to look at this husk of corn and we're going to see how many worms long is it. So how many worms do you count inside those dotted lines? 3. 3 worms. The husk of corn is 3 worms long. Now let's look at the tomato. How long is the tomato? It just covers up 1 worm. So we're going to write 1. I want you to do the last one on your own. Now for the last part, you need some colored crayons or pencils. The instructions say color the shape with 2 equal parts yellow. So the shapes with 2 equal parts you're going to color yellow. Can you tell me which shape you're going to color yellow? Which shape has 2 equal parts? The hexagon. Yeah, you're going to color the hexagon yellow. You're going to color the shape with 4 equal parts green. What color are you going to color the one with 4 equal parts? What color? Green. Yeah, exactly. Which one has 4 equal parts? The square. Yes, you're going to color the square green. So you'll color the square green, the hexagon yellow, and what are you doing to the triangle? Nothing. You're going to leave it alone. The instructions didn't say anything about the triangle. And once you finish coloring those shapes, you're done for today. All right? Good job, boys and girls. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.